I'm going to use the word disruptive. And disruptive these days has a lot of different meanings to it. I'm going to avoid ideology. So I'm going to use the word disruptive very simply to mean disruptive is something that challenges assumptions, that challenges the status quo. And so disruptive products are products that challenge the status quo or challenge certain assumptions about the status quo and how things are done. And disruptive manufacturing will be things that challenge your status quo about how you think things need to be done. With that in mind, my intent is to really spark some new thinking. Let yourself be provoked. I want you to have two questions in the back of your mind that are good disruptive thinking questions. Question number one is, what if? And as I talk about things, let some what if ideas come up. And the second is, if only. And so what technology could disrupt, like as in make obsolete, our entire manufacturing strategy? What manufacturing capability would deliver game-change benefits? It could be game-change benefits to the customer. It could be game-change benefits to the customer's customer. It could be game-change benefits in terms of financials or stuff to your own company. What customer needs require a disruptive type solution? And I'm going to use the word manufacturing, supply chain, logistics, the synonyms for one another. So the first place I want to look for new concepts for product are disruptive products and services to an existing market or addressing problems with existing solutions. Now, I use this to spark marketing and product development people to think about their markets in different ways. We're not going to do that. We're going to think about what are the implications of that for manufacturing. So, for example, on the left, you see a standard hypodermic needle. On the right, there's this new device that Sanofi Pasteur came up with. And if you see the needle's 1/10 of an inch, smaller than a pin in diameter, and it's got a hole all the way through it. Not only that, the injectable comes pre-filled. If you're Sanofi, you've never built needles, you've never built syringes, and if you're a syringe manufacturer, you've never filled them with anything. So nobody's got the capability to do something like this. Another example, clean tech energy in a box for the military. And what it is a huge problem in the military of fielding energy in remote sites like Afghanistan, Iraq. And what this energy in a box is, you open up the container, it contains a diesel generator, it contains photovoltaic cells, and it contains a battery. As it works during normal daylight hours, you're running off the photovoltaics. You're charging the battery. When there's no sunlight out there, the diesel recharges the battery. So you're only running the engine now 10% of the time in order to meet all your electrical needs. Now, how would you manufacture this and logistically supply it? And this is put together, if you will, by no new technology, just configuring things. So if your company came up with something that required no new technology, in fact, doesn't even require technology that you develop, but your IP is how you configure it, that would be perhaps a disruption to you from a manufacturing capability point of view. How many of you can kind of see where I'm going with this conversation? So that's how I want you to think, like what if only, because in one sense you could say, well, I've got capabilities. Where might we take those to meet new customer needs that we don't now go after? So you're in an ag chemical business, Dow, Monsanto, FMC, and you make fertilizer. Scotch seed starter, natural organic fertilizer. Now somebody comes up, here's a disruptor, active soil bacteria, and you spread it out on the soil. Nobody has the manufacturing capability to, one, make that, store it, package it. So again, a disruptive concept requiring some disruptive capability in manufacturing, in supply chain, in logistics. This is a disruptor on scale. This is an oil rig, offshore oil. Offshore oil rigs, after they've been decommissioned, after 5 years after they've been decommissioned, they have to be salvaged. They just can't sit there forever gathering barnacles. And how salvaging operates is something like you cut it up into small pieces. Trying to cut up an oil rig out in the middle of the Gulf adds a whole other dimension to it. What's the solution? Somebody invented a rig that literally picks up the entire oil rig and transports it. Then it could be salvaged in a dry dock facility rather than being salvaged in the middle of the Gulf. This is somebody who's thinking at a whole different scale. The dimensions from here to there are larger than a football field. And what's the kind of company that did that? It's the company that has derricks that lift up locomotives that get derailed and put them back on track. It's those mega mover type of people. It was not someone from within the oil salvage industry that came in with a major disruptor in salvaging oil rigs. So quite typically, disruptors are coming from outside of your industry. And from a manufacturing point of view, they're coming with technologies that, while maybe in many cases very conventional, but not conventional in your industry. Now, this is a very interesting logistics challenge. Tesco, they're like the Walmart of the UK in terms of food. This is South Korea. What it is, people in South Korea are very time challenged. We think we're time challenged. Worse. They typically have a 2-hour commute each way. Tesco came up with the virtual subway store. You take photographs of items that you want on your camera phone. There's an app on the phone. Tell them when you're going to be arriving home, and it's delivered within an hour after you arrive home. Now think of the logistics around that. Now, by the way, have any of you heard about what eBay is now doing in San Francisco and New York? They are piloting a program in San Francisco and New York where you order something and you get it delivered within 1 hour. Where does that kind of idea come from? It comes from South Africa. It comes from India, where there's a whole different logistics and distribution system that's very informal, very rural-based, provides enormous employment opportunities to people, and it's very low-tech in that way. Now, of course, eBay will go after it in a high-tech way, but still a completely different logistics challenge. So you want to be thinking, what was the world like before FedEx came in and did logistics, or UPS came in and did logistics and completely disrupted the logistics chain, and everyone's thinking about logistics, or Dell came in and completely disrupted the logistics around supply chain. There are people coming up now with totally different logistics. Another example, Zara. Every woman here would be familiar with Zara. Zara is a company headquartered in Spain. They completely disrupted the entire value chain, design, production chain for women's clothes. They will take a design and turn a design around in 2 weeks. From design to delivery within 2 weeks. They have no stock at their stores. When they run out of something, they're out of it. You want it, you buy it. The next time you go into the store, you're going to see something very, very new. So you think about, from a game change, if you could cut the cycle time, what would be the equivalent from 6 months down to 2 weeks? A 90% reduction in cycle time? What if it was 2 years down to 3 months? Think about what 3D printing is going to do. Logistics companies right now, they are planning to be in the 3D printing business, some of them. Coffee occasions. So now Starbucks or Green Mountain come up with single serve. Transformative of usage occasions, and now what you need is a different technology in order to be able to deliver that. Starbucks has not got capabilities for making machines or a new customer benefit platform driving a disruptor in what your manufacturing needs to be. When you think about what technology could disrupt your manufacturing strategy, what things come to mind? Yeah.
Digital delivery.
Digital delivery.
Yep.
Great. Somebody else?
Direct from retail to manufacturer orders.
Oh, orders coming direct from retail to manufacturing.
Yeah, eliminate all the middlemen.
No middleman in the orders. That's the kind of thinking that starts to put you in those directions of thinking about what could be disruptors for you.